Before getting into the questions, what we have, let us examine, explore a little bit about mudra. We understand, we practice asana. As we practice pranayama, you start to hear more about mudras, bandhas, kriyas. We remember because we hear that. We understand a little bit here and there. But what it is exactly? What is the effect of these mudras? What is the relationship of mudras with this whole yoga practice? Mudras as well as bandhas. If you are a regular yoga practitioner, asana practitioner, you might have heard or read about Mahamudra. Because it is given in the asana section in Light on Yoga. A lot of practitioners' understanding is that mudra as just one more asana. The meaning Maha means great, something extraordinary. Which means that mudra, Mahamudra, has tremendous effect not just physical effect. It is talking about the effects of this overall yoga practice, what we want to achieve or get. We will study about it some other time. First, let us understand what is this mudra, what is the role of these mudras. In order to know, we should go back to the fundamentals. The principles based on this whole yoga practice has been built. One of the previous session at the beginning, we talked about these 5 elements. Yogis see this whole universe made up of 5 elements. Not only at the gross level, at the subtle level also. We saw 3 different type of body for the human beings. Gross body, subtle body, and causal body, which can go into the universal level also. How this universe is made up of 5 elements, our human body also made up of these 5 elements. What are they? Space, air, fire, water, earth. As the universe made up of these 5 elements, also our body, these 5 elements we can connect, or we can maneuver, in a way manipulate, through these mudras. Various types of mudras. Asana wise also we have mudra, and here with the hand, through the hand. So this yogis are saying, our fingers, each finger representing certain element. Starting from the thumb, which is representing, which is related with fire element. The index finger, which is representing air element, and the middle finger, which is representing space element, ether, space. Then the ring finger, which is representing earth element, and the little finger, which is representing water element. A simple way to remember: do you remember when people say this little, showing the little finger, pinky finger? For what else they will show this finger? Have you seen the kids They want to go to toilet, urine. You've seen that? I don't know in your place how they show. So you can remember this as toilet water associated, then the little finger connected with the water. Just to remember, you can't easily forget that. Right? Where you can get water, as of now, immediately comes. Only on earth. So the earth follows the water, or water follows the earth. Now that middle finger, if you see your hand, your fingers, generally the middle finger is the top one. Compared to any other fingers, you can see that middle finger is the topmost, highest, tallest. What is the tall one? What is there? Above. Anything on tall, above, going further towards the sky, the tallest one, upper part. So the middle finger, the tallest one, representing the space. What is there in the space? Everywhere around the space, what is there? Air. At least here, right? So the space within the space, the index finger, the air comes next to it. And what is left over is only fire. So easy to relate with the thumb, fire element. Now, if you ask question, how come thumb is for fire element, not the little finger? How do we know why the index finger is air element, not the middle finger? I don't know. That's how the system is there. There may be certain science behind that. So far, I didn't come across. When we go in detail, probably it is possible to know why this thumb is connecting with the fire element and why each finger has connecting with that elements, different elements. Every point which finger points, generating that energy, the main reason, as I assume, when we are as these five elements within our body, through that each finger, the possibility may be there to generate, or that particular element is dominating, overpowering through that particular finger. That is one possibility. Why? Because these various mudras they mention, by doing those mudras, you can work with this particular element. There is one mudra which is called Jnana Mudra, or in English, if you read it, a lot of people pronounce as Gyan Mudra. So in Sanskrit, it is Jnana Mudra. In English, it is written as Gyan, Gyan Mudra, but it is Jnana Mudra, or Mudra for knowledge. We can think of that way. Or in other words, it is called as Chin Mudra. Chin, it's about Chit. Chit, again, the meaning for knowledge. It is about that truth, existence, ultimate knowledge. That mudra, tip of the thumb and tip of the index finger. Connect the tip of the thumb to the tip of the index finger. What is the idea? The fire and the air, it stimulates the air element as well as the fire element, which when the air element is activated, when the air element is flowing well, the brain cells activation or functioning is getting better. In Ayurveda also, they will look into that. When different doshas, is a combination of different elements. So one dosha is not functioning well, so they have to give the medicine to activate that, to balance that. So here, when it comes to yoga practice, what we need, by practice, we want to gain the knowledge. By this study, we want to know what is the reality, what is the ultimate truth. So, generally, this mudra, Chin Mudra, recommended while doing pranayama or meditation. You can notice in many books, many pictures also, that yogis going into this mudra. So the reason of this element, air element mainly, the fire it is helping to activate. How far it is true, or how far I can experience that effect, only by practice we will know. But this is more a supporting factor in a peripheral level or in a simple level. It's not that, okay, you are sitting with this Chin Mudra, everything will change. The mind can overpower everything. So what is your understanding? Through that understanding, what you are practicing, through that practice, what is you are experiencing, that's what going to stay. Because then we may ask this question, okay, what happens if the person don't have these two fingers? What happens if a person don't have the hand? That means he will not get knowledge. Right? That's why if you look into yoga texts, plenty of techniques given. It's not that we need to learn everything, we need to practice everything, or we need to know everything. At various times, it is required for various practitioners, because of different conditions or reasons. So if that one thing is not suitable, they will look for the other option. So working through these mudras, it is an additional factor or supporting factor. Please keep that in mind. There are certain mudras, they say just by that mudra, it's not only you change your physical body, even the nature of your thinking pattern, the mind itself will go through certain transformation. A tall claim, but we don't know. So instead of working with what we don't know, it is better to go with what we experience, what we know, and through that we learn. But when we are practicing, whether it is pranayama or meditation, we can notice I arrange my legs, I arrange my trunk, spine, head. But when it comes to arms, after keeping my hands on my lap or somewhere, still these fingers may be just hanging around. In a way, when we are keeping the fingers in certain mudra, it is also getting into the practice or taking part into that scheme of this whole arrangement, the posture. There is one more meaning. When we are getting into a particular mudra, it is sending a signal, a message, a gesture to our psychic body, not to the physical one, for the psychic body, to prepare or to get into action. Even in our daily life, we can notice. Before starting the practice, if we chant, that chanting is already the signal, already the message, not only for the participants, for one's own self. Okay, I am getting into this action. I am going to practice. Even at home also you can notice there is a particular signal comes. If father gets into home, if he is keeping his phone or his key somewhere in a particular way, it may be a certain signal, certain message to the family members. Also, from the mother, when we look at their body language, their activity, it gives certain signal for us to know what kind of condition, mood, or mindset they are in. And in monasteries, in ashrams, you can see there is certain system. There is a particular bell at this time. This is to go to prayer. There is a particular bell at this time. This is to get our meal, our food. A particular time, you get different sound. So this may be for meditation. A lot of in activities, if you see in our daily life, signals are exchanged in various ways. Gestures are given at various places through various forms. It can be anything. It is get used to you. That's why the practitioners sit in different ways. Sometimes you can notice they can sit in chin mudra. Sometimes just a simple interlocking. Sometimes one hand on top of the other. These mudras may be any, but it is sending that signal, message, gesture to the psychic body. So, before going into bandhas, we learn and practice few mudras like this chin mudra, shanmukhi mudra, prana mudra. So these mudras directly as well as indirectly, helping us at least to go inward, that we can experience, that we can see immediately. And when we do Nadi Shodhana, Nadi Shuddhi, Surya Bedana, Chandra Bedana, and various other techniques, we will use this Prana Mudra again and again. Because using these mudras along with bandhas help us to experience the inner side of our being. The more you are able to withdraw your senses and going inward, your own experience will make you to see. That's where we see about, we experience about the energy movement, the prana movement, the energy centers, and altogether it's a different world. But don't expect that you have to know everything or you have to experience everything. Or don't get into practice with a certain end result. I have to reach there or achieve this. You have to do the practice like a child, as it has a curiosity to know what's there, what's here, why it is like that, why it is like that. For that, you have to be in that moment to see exactly what is happening. Because quite easily we get the information from various books and teachers. So if you hear something, by this practice, this will happen, then immediately our mind will set to that end result. That's why generally I don't want to talk about the benefit. The books written, many books, okay, it is good for digestion, it is good for constipation, it is good for relaxation, it is good for mental health. You will see yourself, you will experience yourself. But don't set your expectation towards those results. These are all starting time side effects. We want to travel more further beyond that physical limitation. It's about knowing this overall structure, not just limiting with the body movements, body effects. The more we learn to be an observer, what we see, the knowledge, the experience, this whole process, it shows immediately. Always we are a doer. We want to be a doer. We want to do something. We want to get something. We want to achieve something. But the more we stand as an observer, then we see very clearly it is not something we have to achieve. Rather, the experience what we get is just to be experienced. It is not that fixed. It happens on its own naturally. So various practice we are doing just to transform ourselves from this doer standpoint to observer standpoint. At the end, we will see, at the end means not after 10-15 years. At the end means The moment you see that you are not the doer, it can be next moment, it can be tomorrow, it can be next month. You are an observer, then this whole perspective of yoga practice will be transformed. Then you will see it is not to achieve something, it is just to observe. It is just to realize I am not the doer, I am just an observer. I am not limited to this body mind, I am this unlimited being. So when we learn various aspects of yoga, asana or pranayama or mudra, bandha, meditation, don't get carried away that I know this much, I know that I experienced this, I got there, I reached there, I am better. Don't allow the mind to get carried away. Rather, whatever we know in order to stop searching further to know, in order to end this seeking game, in order to end this whole cycle of desire, achievement, not enough, non-satisfied, other desire, achievement, not enough, not satisfied, other desire. This whole cycle continuing all the time. So you want to have a full stop for that. We'll learn, we will study, we will explore, we'll continue the practice. I have a few questions. Last week also I didn't answer everything. One question is there already. This morning, when I put my thumb in the ear hole, I felt that most of the internal sound was on the left side. And the left side of the internal sound was louder or greater than the right side. A. What can be the reason? You keep observing. You observe not only in the morning time, you observe in the evenings also. And check, is it the same way, same condition? Left side, you feel more than the right side. That can indicate, if it is continuously happening, that can indicate your left and right ears condition, eardrum condition. Just check, see what happens. Then if something like that, when we do pranayama, nadi, Surya Bedana or Chandra Bedana, we need to alter that, or the particular one you may need to practice more. So you keep checking after a week or two, then let me know, please. Okay. I feel more saliva comes in the mouth in this week practice. Is this normal as we do the humming sound? How to deal with it? Spit it out or swallow or neglect it? You don't need to spit out. Good that you are recognizing first. Second, give gap. Don't do continuously many cycles. And still, if you get saliva, swallow it. For few, it may be very dry. After few times of Brahmari, they may feel very dry, they may feel thirsty, they even feel more warmth. Few of the condition like this, more saliva. So it's not something we can do directly here. As you practice this, definitely there should not be any disturbance or obstacle. So one cycle, two cycle, wait, get saliva, swallow, wait, then go to the next cycle. You can notice even when we talk continuously, you can see that the saliva comes out, or the saliva you get more, which is we can say in a way it's a healthy state. We need that. It has to be there because of saliva only. Then when we eat, it helps for digestion and various things. We need that, but it should not be too much or too dry. So because we create this sound, naturally you may feel that you are getting the saliva. Just swallow it. Okay. During pranayama practice, some sweet body fluids come to the top of the tongue. Even side of tongue. Why? I don't know exactly what is that sweet body fluids. Maybe you are eating too much sweet or you are full of sweet. Just by pranayama, if you are getting sweet fluids, then you don't need to spend money to buy chocolates. Naturally, you will get sweet, but I assume It's about the sense, the taste sensory you feel with your saliva. I don't know the reason exactly, but when we go to the, if your mucus and sinus, all those things in a good condition, when we roll the tongue, take towards the upper palate and behind that. Rolling and moving the tip of the tongue toward the back of the upper palate and towards that inner side. The taste of saliva in normally it is different. When you roll here, there is some fluid movement. You can see it is a different taste. So probably this Brahmari or even overall pranayama practice, when we are focusing and doing continuously, you may feel something like that. So that's just my assumption. More than that, I'm not sure. Next question. Feeling practice pranayama can very much consuming energy. Every time feeling tired after class and need 1 hour relaxation. Today I do practice against the wall, become better. At least there is no problem to practice asanas. But about how much effort should be used, I have question, because I have to maintain the uplifted spine. It is very difficult to maintain without making efforts. This sitting, effortless sitting, upright sitting, furthermore, in that position, practicing pranayama or doing meditation. As you slowly withdraw yourself from the body in meditation. In pranayama, you have to still associate, still connect. It's like one step with the body, one step with the pranic plane, pranic field. So if your body is not ready, you need to put effort to sit upright. That itself will make you tired. And furthermore, you start to regulate the breath. It will definitely make you super tired. So, two ways you can address. One, good amount of asana practice. Second, consistent practice. So now what we are doing, you don't stop afterwards. After this 100 days, you can start your own 100 days program and do that continuously. Sit regularly. Even now, we are still altering. We are still not sitting continuously for a long time. Sometimes we are going to supine, sometimes sitting. Using support for your spine, which will be helpful. After some time, we will let go that. We need to let go that also. For now, yes, you can take some support for the spine. Whenever you sit upright position, it helps. But regular practice and asana practice will bring that effortless posture, effortless effort. Any posture, when you do, when it is happening effortlessly, that's the time you are actually doing the posture. We call asana siddhi. That means you reached that pose, you attained that pose. Whether it is Sukhasana or whether it is Dandasana or whether it is Shirasasana. Effortlessly, you can be in the pose. So keep your practice going. Okay, next question. The right and left trunk is not even. I observed my shoulder that the side which is lower, the volume of inhalation is also a little bit less. Then I deliberately increase the volume in that side. So is the feeling and adjusting right? Yes, it is possible, and you are putting a little bit effort to increase the volume, which is also fine. But be aware, you are not putting undue force, undue pressure to increase the volume. And first you see why the trunk is not even. Is it because of your spine condition or because of the imbalance is there posturally, not because of the spine? It's like one side you use more, one side you use less. So work to balance through asana practice. Get a right position, balance between the right and left side. Also work when you are doing pranayama, this way of adjusting, fine. Then after some time, after certain amount of adjustments and practice, you don't bring this in pranayama practice. Already you can correct in asana practice. Next question, what should be noticed during menstruation when practicing pranayama? Kapalbhati can be done during menstruation. Don't do Kapalbhati during menstruation. Anything during menstruation, any kind of activity, you need to put a little bit more effort. Don't do it. Anything you are trying to moving upward, we will learn in coming days, it's called like this apana movement. So the menstruation activity, bowel movements, urine, with all these things, urination, all It's about a different pranic movement, which is called apana. There's a 5 type of prana. Prana is one, but based on the activities categorized into these 5. Prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. We'll look into that one of the sessions. So this, anything that blocks this apana movement, this downward energy movement, tightening the abdomen, lifting the anus up, pubis movement up so much. So anything which you do, you should not obstruct. You have to allow that. You have to keep that space free. So supine postures are recommended. Supine based pranayama practice is recommended. Long exhalation based practice is recommended. Not to over usage of, not to use the force too much. We see every breath, we see that length, volume, and force. See how far you can keep the force element, force aspect less. Okay? So that's the way you can balance. Next question. After pranayama, body is feeling hot, and this heat is spreading, but every time the part which has hot feeling is different. How to explain this situation? It is just the energy flow as you do this pranayama. First, your sensitivity getting better. You are able to see what is happening within your energetic field, the pranic field. So you are more sensitive now to see what is happening. Second, this energy flow, energy movement, balancing. Every time when we are doing pranayama, what is actually happening? Different conditions are there for various persons for various reasons. So it is trying to balance within itself, within its movement on its own. So you can sometimes feel the heat sensation even in the nasal passage. Then this flow of energy movement within the body, you can feel also that heat sensation. Just make sure it is not overheating. You don't feel too much heat sensation. Warm, you feel some kind of warmth for movement is fine. Okay. Then when you feel that too much hot, from warmth it is going into like, you feel that, then go to supine position, just relax, don't continue. And not necessarily only the warmth condition, sometimes you feel certain cold condition also, but it will be very momentary compared to the warmth. Generally warmth will be more, and overall you can see also the warmth condition will increase. It will not reduce, it will increase. The more you go deeper, more pranayama, more meditation, the warmth nature will increase. But it has to be balanced, it has to be under control. So give attention to that. Why increasing? Basically, the energy is like that. Prana is like that. Overall, we can notice within our body also, whatever is outside, but within our body also, you can see that even when you just lengthen the breath, you feel already warm. Little bit of lengthening, you don't need to even do pranayama. So, because it's nature itself like that. Next question. I feel Brahmari in lying down position, time is short, not continuing, not better than in sitting. Is it something not doing well? Because we are creating this sound, that humming sound, generally sitting will be better than lying down. Not just for you, for most of the practitioners. That's why for Brahmari, I said raise the support slightly higher. Don't keep less support. Keep your trunk slightly higher. Basically position and also the lying down condition. You sit and talk, you lie down and talk. You can see the difference. Sound position, the way, the throat and all those things positioned. So it's because of that reason mainly. So it's not wrong. Don't worry about it. When making sound in exhalation, I found, next question, it is and off and on or up and down. Why like this? What should I take care more in my asana practice? In Brahmari, first, don't lengthen too much. You start with less length. Second, if you are already asana practice, you are doing, see overall your sequence is addressing all the systems of the body. So within your sequence, you should have standing, forward, backward, inversion, twisting, relaxation, abdomen, all the categories of asana practice, all the systems of our body is addressed. And your mucus condition, sinus conditions, see that it is not obstructing also. And be very conscious about it. So when you are making the sound, the aim is not just to create the sound. It is through the exhalation, you are creating that energy flow, outward energy flow. So go in short duration first. Your inhalation, make sure it is longer also. And also we see these two ways. First, normal inhalation, Brahmari exhalation. Long inhalation, Brahmari exhalation. And you see that length is varying when you make this Brahmari. Normal inhalation, long inhalation. Also, the sound bottom of the throat, not at the front side of the mouth. It's like bit short. Not necessary you have to really struggle. You see that the more you want to make it longer, the position also changing from the mouth to the throat, throat to the mouth. One more also you can check when you are exhaling. If you take the hand on the abdomen when you check, there is a gradually that contracting of the abdomen because it goes with the exhalation. So that goes in the same gradual way. So go with short duration first. That itself will help a lot. Okay, next question. The mudra of putting the thumb in the ear feels easier and turn the senses inward quickly. How does it work? Would it have a similar effect if a bandage was used around the eye? May not, may not be the similar effect. Compared to using the fingers, the bandage may give a little bit variation, but we can say more or less towards the same direction. Your awareness completely have no other choice. How our mind works. Our mind need input. Our mind need continuous inflow of data. What our senses are doing, it is constantly supplying it. We hear the mind processing. We see the mind processing. We smell mind processing. We taste mind processing. We touch, feel mind processing. Constantly, it is receiving some data, some input. Now, you close the ears, the sense got shut, so you don't hear anything. But still, it wants to hear. Then, what is happening inside? Then it gives the attention to that sound. But the mind is clever. If you keep on doing every day, after some time, you hear the inner sound, still your mind can think and go somewhere else. Based on your likes and dislikes, based on your emotions. That's why whatever we do with these techniques, it's all in a very simple or basic level effort. Until we address the emotions, our likes and dislikes, our desires, all these techniques will bring only the temporary effect. You won't stay there. So basically the senses are shut, the mind turns inward, but how do you use it? Then it depends on your conditions. Okay. Okay, there are a few more questions of last week, also some more questions. We'll look into that tomorrow. You rest well? Sleep well? Without any dreams? See you morning. Thank you all. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Thank you.